Welcome back to the channel. You're with Dave from Mad for Heli. This is episode 5 of the TB70 build, and we are going to do electronics, servo setup, ESC mount, and tail servo. So let's get started. These are the mounts that we pulled out of the packet in episode 1, I think episode 1 or 2. Let's start with the ESC mount. Here's one I prepared earlier. Get the screws out of it. Pretty self-explanatory, this. It's a nice plastic. It's gonna be nice to mount your ESC on. Should be this bad boy. Plenty of slots in there to put zip ties through, Velcro, whatever you want really. Not bad, nice. Just make sure you put on the right way, should only go on one way. Get some Loctite ready. Start at the top, do it up firm so then we can maneuver it to the next hole. Get our trusty Loctite down here. Get the next one down the bottom. And that middle one should line up perfectly. Again, I'm not using a lot of Loctite. There's no need for it. Just don't tighten these up too tight. It is a plastic insert, so really just pass firm this one. 3 to go. Front of the frame, it's flimsy until you get it in here and lock it in. Just wondering how it's going to go in a crash. Like, you know, you've got, maybe that should have been a separate piece. Maybe that front half, maybe that's something you can always look at down the track, but to go impact that, it's to replace the whole sides. There's a fair bit to take off there, but anyway, little suggestion. Alright, get that out of the way. What do we got next? Looks like we're after the tail mount. Tail mounts here. Suppose we need a servo. Let's find our tail servo. Looks like we have a different colour for our tail servo. Red. Not going to use dampers. We're not going to use them. It's a nice little anti-static packet. There we go. Round cables. I really love round cables. Like, I don't know, they're black, so they camouflage. They're not that striped colour. I do like expert servos because they have the black wire. I think what most people have been saying with removable leads is the go. Just to pull stuff apart just makes it so much easier. But anyway, I like it. Nice black servo. Let's put in the mount. Put that to the side for later. I do have SAB servo horns that will be going on here. Now, the difference being, so if you can see these, so these are meant to lock into the aluminium with aluminum with Loctite. But because I'm using the plastic servo horn now, you kind of don't really want to just rely on a fine thread in the plastic. So I do know I've got another fellow in the club with the TB70, and you can actually get a nut on the back of it. So I'll need to grab some nuts, but we're not going to fit the servo horns just yet. I don't have any electronics to power up the servos to get center, so I don't even have another machine. Anyway, I like to do it. Probably not the best way to do it. I should have something set up by now, but I'll do it last. Let's get this right now. This goes... doesn't even show me which way. It's pretty piss poor. Looking like that. I'm gonna wing it. I'm gonna have to check this on another page. Hang on. Goes to the back. The offset goes to the back. Like that. I'm just gonna screw these down straight in. What I'm saying. 2.5. I've got to get some 2.5 mil nuts. So I'll go grab those when I go on the down. With that washer. Got a washer here. 2 of these. Sometimes you just need to add a little bit of writing on it, just so we can see everything. Honestly, black and white, it does make it hard to see. Pick center, doesn't really matter. I like to just find a happy medium halfway. We'll just line these edges up. I'll call it good. Didn't get glue on our arm, which is great. How many of you get it all up your elbow? Comment below. Where do you get Loctite? All over you. Now let's have a look at the mount here. So, the other episode when we were putting the frame together, remember me talking about this, couldn't find it? Well, yes, because we put it on now. So, screw holes go this side. That little groove we got there, that's for the tailbone cutout. This goes down below. And it goes through which holes? Looks like this bottom hole here. Probably should have put that in beforehand because it slots in. I don't know if you can see that. See the square slot? Yeah. That should have gone in on the first page line. Can't believe you've done that to me. Gotta take my frame apart. Bugger. Not something I wanted to do. Hopefully just a few screws. Make sure you don't get your belt mixed up. Too bad, 3 screws, we got away with it. I'm doing this video so you guys learn from this. And that Loctite wasn't too much. It was firm. There's no way that's rattling loose. Alright, so we've got that in there. Another driver. Now, I suppose the sucky thing, I'm going to actually leave that off. And the reason why I'm going to leave that off is, let's put that on later. Let's have a think about this. When you put that under there like that, your frame, I suppose your frame sits in the air, but you're going to be moving it around and you're going to have this flapping around everywhere. Let's install that after. There's no need for that to go in now. What we'll start on is the other servos. So, got another baggie here. All right, so just have a quick read of the book. What it doesn't tell you, again, if you're a novice, first time build, second, third time build, and you didn't notice, but the servo leads are different lengths. And everyone says, oh, but you're silly if you don't realize. Sorry, but yes, there are people out there like that. Sorry, but it happens. Honestly, it happens to the best. If you've seen a couple of mistakes I've made, I'm not going to cut out my mistakes. I'm not going to hide it. This is a real video. It happens. It's the fun. You just can all laugh at me. No problem. So these two should be the same because they mount on the front, and then look at that. No need to bunch wires up. That will be our, I'd say, elevator servo at the back here. Beautiful. Nice little short stubby lead straight into the fly ballers controller. Woo! Tits, I tell ya. Alright. Let's start with the two front. Starting with the two front because these drivers here, once I get this one in there, it's going to make it harder for me to drive these two screws when I mount that up. So we'll leave the elevator on till after. Take these screws out once again. Fast forward this up, get it done. I'm going to go to the wiring page real quick just to wiring page in the back here. See which way they want these leads to go. Leads on the inside. Just gonna push the servos down. Just even that gap up. Alright, clean. Now, let's get these screws out. And I'm going to ask you all a very serious question. I'd like you to comment, I'd like you to answer them. Touchy discussion in the heli world. Clones or copying. Now, we've got low center of gravity. Yeah, we've got the servos down low, but servos stick out. You got sticking out nearly 20 mil. Why wouldn't you just turn them? And the answer is because people think it looks like a clone. Oh, you've cloned this such and such heli. Oh, it looks the same as such and such heli. But how else do you mount them? You can mount them this way, yeah, it's great, but to keep everything in the confines of the frame, you know, you land on the side, you drop it, you crash. Not only have you smashed your canopy needs to be wider, but who knows what you could do to your servo mount as well. You know, you bust your servo mount. It's great that that's removable. I think they've made these pieces removable. That's actually removable pieces. There's a bolt underneath. But if this gets jammed that hard, you bend or break these, that's why it's removable. They have thought about some stuff. I've got to give it to them. They have thought about a lot of different things, and that is a neat idea. That is not. It works, but it should have been turned. But then, oh, it looks like another heli. There's only so many ways to bloody make a heli, guys, all right? Could have been better. Could have been Yeah, anyway, that's enough of that. Comment down below what you reckon. Am I being stupid? Do you think it's correct that there's too many people out there that think it looks like other helis? And just want to know your thoughts on that, because as you can tell, it should have been upright. Let's glue these suckers in. They've got frame cutouts. The frame actually sits down right in the front. They've got it as low as possible. Now don't tighten that one up yet. We'll tighten them up last. Excuse me. Nice recessed hole in that servo mount. Right, you want to be doing these up nice. The torque comes down to how big the screw is as well. Alright. Probably a nice ball end driver would get them nice into there. You can see there's a belt floating around now. You can see where they've notched the frame out there just to try and get it as low as possible. So low center of gravity. Low center of gravity, that's what we want. Before I forget, we'll tighten this up. Nearly out of Loctite. It's good not wasting Loctite. That's in the plastic, don't ruin the plastic. It's at a different length screw. No, they're the same. Just using another screw for here, but it's the same. Let's have a look here. So it looks like, do we? Ha! I see what you mean. Just looking at these zip ties here. These zip ties holes may not be big enough. Don't know if you can see down in there, but this frame here, hole should have been a little bit lower. If I would have known, I actually would have filed the frame. I would have filed it so the zip tie goes through. Just Velcro it if we have to. Just want to get this bad boy in the air. Do we come down either side? It's not ideal, but creates a nice V there, possibly. What's your thoughts? All right, elevator. Make sure it's correct with the drawing. Servo goes like that. Correct. Servo goes like that. So that's offset. Just double check. The doesn't really show you in the. Could even screw that in. So you can see how this is offset, right? So it really determines the direction of the servo by bringing that servo back into center. Don't just leave the drop on it. Take it off. Just makes a mess. That's on now. Straight up. So center's down there. You put the servo on. It's not in center. Center is this edge here, right? You can see the edge of the ruler there. Turn it around. That's where center is. So it has to go this way. Just doesn't show you too well. If you flick to another page, you'd probably see it. But it should have had another view so you could actually see it. So I thought just another way to show you correct orientation. And now, just because these other two, I pushed them down just to make sure that our links are all going to be the same. I've got to do the same with this one. I've got to make sure that it's pushed down in the slot. And then all of our length should be the right length. We're very close. Very close. Get everything nice and even, push it down. These drivers I got, the heads is just the hardening on the head. I'm really impressed. RJX. Really impressed with the heads on these. It happens, you know, you stick it in there and it slips and rounds off, but honestly the edges have not dulled on these drivers. I'm not sponsored by RJX, I just bought a set. I went looking for a cheap set. This was fairly good price. I'm pretty happy with them. Pretty happy. I got this one. It may look nice, but it's actually got no grip. You've got no grip behind it, so I'm gonna say don't get one of these. Find something with some knurling on it. Yeah, go knurling. So this might even be too long. I might have to round it out through there into the flybarless. We'll see. We'll see which way I want to face it. I always like facing the wires forward, just because it looks neat. I don't like all the wires. Some people are great at wiring. I've got a guy, Ross, at our club in Mackay. Shout out to Ross. The way that he cables and tidies it, and he just has them. It's like a rainbow. They run in perfect. Don't know how you do it, mate, but great job. Great job. I should get a photo and put it up here for you. I like mine all in the back. Sometimes it's a little bit messier. Sometimes it can be really hard to get it in there, but you know, we all like our helis a certain way. So, lastly, before we get into the bottom frame, we will put on the elevator bracket real quick. While we're here, put in the final piece to the boom and complete the top frame. Just sits on top, sandwiched in there like that. Just make sure we got it the right way. It looks like it sits like that. Now if you don't have a magnetic tip, put it in the hole like that and bring it down to the female part. First one's always loose or firmish. And then we tighten the second one up. Perfect. It's looking really nice. Really nice. Wipe my mitts off it. Little touches. They could have just went straight across with this brace and, you know, machine this out. They've taken it all out. You can still see the name branding on the servo. Allows you to take the servo out. I like it. Might have been a little bit negative at the start of the build here, but just need a line to listen. But you know, please listen to the good points as well. There's some really good engineering in this. Just someone thinking about maintenance, not just putting it together and flying it. Just you need to think of maintenance. All right. Tech tip. This goes in here, right? You're probably all yelling at me now. Don't do that. Why not? Loosen off your tensioners. Either your belt tensioners. This goes in here. This is your boom clamp. So the clamp goes to the bottom. Tech tip. Put the belt through first. Belt through. You can put the belt through after, but put it through. And this also is adjustable. I wonder why there's slots on that. Maybe we'll find out later why there's slots on that. Anyway. I need a new bottle. I've been chewing through it. How many builds have I done this year? I've done a 516. I've pulled apart about 3 516 airframes because I have spares. I've built a 580. I've built an Oxy 5 for Mad Mike. I've built a Oxy 4 Max, pulled it apart, rebuilt it, and now I'm on to the TB70. Now, not sure why there's slots. I'm going to push it all the way back, because when you tension these up, it will push to the back of the slot. So just nip these up a little bit, just to hold these in the back of the slot. I might have to go forward, to be honest, because I'm nearly at the end of my screwy and there's not much to tension up. I'm gonna have to loosen that up, I think. Once I put my boom in there, then that'll kind of align it. So we'll just nip these up. These will come loose later. It says to put them in. Doesn't tell you where in the slot to put it. So we'll just firm them up there. The Loctite will lock in there. It's okay to loosen it, retighten it without doing the Loctite. Don't always have to redo it, depending on how much you're taking it out. Some people will disagree, but anyway, it's just a toy. Yes, I know it's an expensive one, but I haven't put one in yet due to a bolt falling out. I've been flying 30 and 14 years, so. All right, belt through. Okay, that concludes the drivetrain. Well, no, sorry, drivetrain was the last one. That concludes the servo installation. Next episode, we're going to be doing mainframe and skids. All right. Well, that's it for that. We'll mount this later. No biggie on the tail servo. Appreciate everyone stopping by. You know, giving us a like, comment, subscribe to see the next one. See all the great content we've got coming up. We have OMP M4 coming up. One of the first in Australia to grab the M4. So stay tuned for that build. Hit that bell for the next build series. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. See you next time.